All right, good afternoon, everybody. I want to take some time here to show you how to get into the assignment for today if you were not here today, Monday, September the 28th. So first thing that we're going to do is log into ClassLink so that we can get to Schoology. Once class link loads, we can go to the Schoology account, and then we get into Schoology. And then today, the sixth grade class was third hour, so we'll go to third hour. Inside the third hour classroom, we have tools of geography, which we continue to work through. So far, we have completed the 5 themes of geography assignment, which was due last week. And then we also completed the study of Earth assignment, which was due on Friday. Okay. Yeah, I think that's right. And then ways to show Earth's surface, that was due today because we started that at the end of last week. And then today we are working on understanding maps. So first of all, we click on the connect button. And so this gives us just a preview of what it is that we're going to learn about, okay? So think about the directions from school to any place in the community. It could be like Erie Metro Park, Dairy Queen, or to Kroger. How would you explain where to go? How would you explain how far it is? How would you identify the familiar features that can show the way? It's really not very likely that any two of us would give the same exact directions, and giving the different directions to the same place would obviously be confusing. So in this lesson, we're going to learn that a map can answer these questions clearly and easily by showing information visibly. So our learning objectives are to identify the different parts of a map, which we'll talk about, and also to explain how to use the standard map features in order to read all maps. All right, that's the connection that we're making to our learning today. Let's go back to understanding maps. First thing I want you to do is log into the Savas Realize book, open the online textbook to the section called Core Concepts 1.4, preview the key ideas, the key terms, the pictures, the headings, and make a prediction about what you're going to learn in the lesson. Then I want you to read this section. It's called Understanding Maps. I want you to answer the closed reading questions, and I want you to complete the vocabulary review. Now, next class, we're going to work on from here to there, which is a project to create a map of the classroom, and then also the direction and distance worksheet. But we're going to focus here on the Learn folder for today. So let's go in there, okay? Let's start with the reading. We go to Savas Realize, and we log into our textbook. Gotta jump through all these hoops here to get rid of it. Sign in, and we'll sign in. Of course, you're going to use your student ID at gibdisc.org as your username, and shoemate1 as your password. Click on Browse, My World Geography Textbook. Go down to Core Concepts, and then over to Part 1, Tools of Geography. I'm going to click on Options, see what it does. No, that's not what I want. All right, let's go into Part 1, Tools of Geography. All right, so from here, we click on the Student Edition textbook and then open in a new window. Once that opens, I'm going to shrink this screen down a little bit. It's a little on the large side, 300%. Let's shrink it down to 100% so we can see the whole thing. And let's flip over to page, I believe it is 10 and 11, maybe 11 and 12. It's section 1.4. That's where we're going. We've already studied 5 themes of geography. We've already studied. By the way, I'm going to turn this into 2-page view so that I can see it a little bit better. And ways to show Earth's surface, we've done that already. And so that brings us to understanding maps. And so the first task is to look at the key ideas, look at the key terms, look at the pictures and the captions and the headings, reading a map, look at the assessment, get an idea, make a prediction about what it is that you're going to learn about. Once you have a prediction, now let's see if the prediction is going to come true, okay? The key terms are key, locator map, scale bar, and a compass rose. In order to read, we can click on the microphone and it will read us the text here, okay? And when we click on the microphone here, it's going to read us all of this text. What the microphone will not read is the captions, okay? And so we're going to have to read those ourselves. And so essentially, these are the parts of a map. You've got the title here. You've got the key that explains what the colors and the shading and the symbols on a map mean. You have the compass rose, which will give you the directions. You have the grid lines. These are lines of latitude. These are lines of longitude. This is the locator map. This here shows you where the larger map is, which is of Colorado, where it exists in an even larger space, the United States of America. And then finally, at the bottom, you have the scale bar, which will show you how much space on the map represents a given distance on the land. So, for example, this scale here is about a ½ inch long, and on a map, that ½ inch represents 50 miles. Okay. Over here, we've got a road map, which is a different kind of map, but also a map that has the title. It also has a key. It also has a compass rose. It also has a scale. It has grid lines. Okay. And in the key, we can see what all these different roads and the shadings mean, right? The national park or the forest is green. We can see that the freeway is a double blue line. We can see that a larger dot is the state capital. The key helps us to understand what the symbols and the shading on the map mean, okay? So once we read through this, we look at the map, we try to understand it, we're going to go back to Schoology and we're going to do the close reading questions. They're going to help us to think about the map and what we have looked at and talked about, okay? And so this first one here, I'm going to go to the preview section. First, the question is to label the map. So you're going to use these tiles here at the bottom, and you're going to drag them into these spaces to label the map so that you know where the compass rose is, the grid, the key, the scale, and the title are. Number two, according to the locator map on the physical map, is Colorado in the eastern or the western half of the United States? So we go back to this map and we look at the locator map. Is it in the west or is it in the east? Once we think we know the answer, we type it in. Number three, how does the compass rose help you to find your way around a map? Okay, this question requires you to infer. So keep in mind, when you infer, you're using what you learned and your prior knowledge to answer the question. It probably is not going to come right out of the text. You have to think hard to answer that kind of a question. For something like identify the details, it's pretty easy. Okay, the reading is going to tell you what the scale on the road map is. Okay, and so you can get that right from the reading. How can information from the physical map help understand the drive you will take using the road map? This is a question that requires you to make a connection. So you have to look at the two maps. How can a physical map assist me when I am taking a road trip and I need a road map? Okay, what can I learn about the physical map and what the physical map will tell me from looking at the key, and how does that help me if I wanted to take a road trip, let's say from Denver to Grand Junction? Okay, how can these two maps be used together or in connection? Number six is an assessment question. Assessment questions come right down from here on the bottom. And so if you made a map of the places to shop in your area, what might you put in the map's key? So think about the places that you and your parents go to shop. What would be important to put in that map key, so that you knew where things were or where the places were located. Okay, I often think of the Woodhaven shopping area where you've got the stores and you've got the train tracks over there, and you've got street names and the city names and things like that. So just think about what would be required to go in the map of the places where you shop. And then lastly, you have to drag these into the correct process. What is the first step in reading a roadmap? Well, the first step is reading the title and identifying the area that is covered by the map. You got to make sure that you have the right map for what you're trying to do. If your purpose is to travel from one of the cities to another, say from Gibraltar to Woodhaven, what are the remaining steps in order? Okay, so what would be the next thing that you would do with that map? What would be the third thing that you would do with that map? What would be the fourth thing? What would be the fifth thing? Just drag these around and you can move them and place them into order. Then you can review your answers. When you submit, you can go back and you can check them out and see if your answers were correct. Of course, we will talk about those in school tomorrow. And then bringing us back to understanding maps, the last thing that you need to do under Learn is you need to click on the vocabulary review, and that will take you to a quizzes where you can practice what you learned about the 4 vocabulary words in the reading. Key, the locator map, scale bar, and the compass rose. So that's it. That's the assignment for today. On Wednesday, we'll talk about the understanding section. So make sure that you are ready to go at our Zoom meeting on Wednesday. And third hour, if you look at the calendar, third hour on the 30th, you guys will find a Zoom link right here. Click on the 11:45, and then you click on that, or actually you click View Item, and View Item will come up. Let me go back right here, View Item, and then the link to Zoom will be right there. Okay, it says maybe I clicked on the wrong one. That should say third hour Zoom. Okay, so I'll see you at 11:45 on Wednesday. Hopefully that helps and you understand everything. If not, feel free to send me an email, and or you can send me a notification through the system here. Okay, through Schoology. All right, let me know if you need anything. Take care and good luck.